Hi guys, welcome back to AFTV News Daily.
Yes, people, yes.
You alright?
I'm all good, man. You?
Yeah, we're good?
Yeah.
Yeah, you sure?
Yeah, I'm alright, man. I don't know if everyone else is good out there, but I'm alright.
Oh, okay. We need to have some chats, me and you.
Yeah, I think we do.
Okay.
I think we do.
Welcome back to News Daily, guys. There's a lot to chat about. Shouts for Eric in the comments already, but some love for Turkish as well. Let's give Turkish some love.
It's not often I get it, but I'll embrace it when I do.
Right, we've got a lot to talk about. A cancelled tour to the States. What does that mean for Arsenal? What does that mean for the season coming forward? We're going to look into that. We are going to talk about Turkish's thoughts on the transfer window.
Okay, I see you put it in the list as well. You actually put it in the list.
No, of course I put it in the list.
Yeah.
It
caused quite a stir on Instagram.
I nearly put it in the title. Angry Turkish on the thumbnail. We're going to talk about why Arsenal's name is always being used in the press. I'm not going to lie, I'm a bit triggered by this one, so we're going to talk about that.
No worries.
And we're going to talk about Tammy Abraham and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the latest there, so a lot to talk about. Before we go into your social media antics, that's been going on today, let's talk about this cancelled tour. We won't touch on it too much because the news broke last night and I think everyone sort of had their say and given their thoughts on it. But the first time on AFTV that we're really talking about it, unless Robbie touched it today, I had the chance to watch Transfer Daily.
No, not did I.
Is this, for anyone who doesn't know, a few Arsenal players tested positive for COVID-19. And of course, the first thing we want to say is we wish them all the best. We hope that they're all right. And we hope that everyone else is sort of being looked after as well in and around the squad. I don't know what that means for training. There's been some suggestions that Arsenal should be able to keep training anyway. Just the players will have to self-isolate. It does mean that the trip to the States, to Florida, to play in the Florida Cup, I think they're going to be in Orlando, were they?
I don't know where they were.
Something like that. Well, they would have faced Inter Milan, and then the winner of Millonarios, or I don't know how to pronounce it, I've done a Cecil, against Everton would then, the winner would face Arsenal or Inter in the final a few days later. That tour's been taken from us. Obviously, it's disappointing for the American Arsenal fans or any Arsenal fans who are going to make their way over to watch that. But what was kind of your thoughts when you saw that news? Like, what was the first thing that kind of went through your mind? Because I had many thoughts actually.
The first thing that went through my mind is I hope they have a backup plan, because I'm going to wake up in the morning and see people on Twitter using it as another excuse for the start of next season.
I'm not going to lie, that popped into my head. I thought, that's an excuse in there.
And it did happen. We did wake up to that.
Yeah.
And that was the main thing for me. I think we all knew there was a big risk in that sort of tour. Travel arrangement and all that. So there should be a contingency plan. There should be a plan B in place. Even if it's not 2 fixtures, get one in at least. It's not like we started the first 2 off on the greatest of in the greatest of ways, but just get one in now, and that really makes up for it. Yeah, and there's a lack of travel there as well. So all the people that are using it as maybe some leeway for Arteta or Edu or the club in general moving forward, listen, that's a big travel there, big travel back. It takes that time and energy. They're not doing that no more. Yep. So on the plus side, they remain here, they remain in their homes, they remain around their families, which in my opinion should be better for them. That
was the main point in my head actually. That I thought people would maybe think of this as another reason or excuse for why Arsenal might be behind. But more so actually, I was thinking maybe this is a good thing. Obviously there's a certain amount of, let's call it, publicity duties, and also the chance to play big games, and there's stuff that Arteta will know the club has to do. It's not even just that. I'm sure Arteta and Arsenal do want to go abroad to see the fans abroad and connect with them, and that's obviously all true as well. I just wonder whether Arteta maybe is, apart from the players who won't be able to train, that would be disappointing. I wonder if there's a part of them that's thinking, that's fine, I'm happy staying in London for over a week or a week or whatever it was going to be.
I think so.
I would think so. I would personally be happy about it. I'd be thinking more time in the training fields, play against the reserves, maybe, there's always behind closed doors friendlies with a Brentford or a QPR or something going on. So I don't necessarily see the cancellation of the tour as a massive negative. But the biggest negative I did take from it was actually the realisation that football might be more hampered by the pandemic next season than we think. Is that something that worries you?
Yeah, to be honest, I mean, life in general, I think is going to be
Right.
hampered again by another lockdown. So I assume that will impact football and all sports, and that in turn has an impact on the season and how
But
it turns
it's
out.
funny because when you think about it last year, where we had basically 3 lockdowns, it actually didn't impact football that much. Apart from the initial lockdown,
Yeah.
where obviously it stopped,
Sudden.
football came back and it stayed back. There were, apart from a Villa game or a Tottenham game got postponed, or the odd round of a cup, one too much to pull out. But overall, it didn't really impact the season too much. Football kind of kept coming, even when the pandemic, God forbid, was in its kind of its worst, really,
Yeah.
in terms of rate of deaths and cases, which is obviously incredibly sad. But football kept going, and actually, there weren't a lot of. How many Arsenal players missed time because of COVID-19? I mean, I can think of Gabriel.
Being the main one, really.
I can't really think of any others.
No.
So that in itself, was quite interesting to look back on, actually, at a time where we didn't have the jabs and it was worse, that the vaccines, and actually football kind of came through okay. I almost wonder whether now it's a case of there's going to be more cases, more people are at risk of catching it, but with the vaccines they're supposedly going to be more protected.
Yeah.
So maybe football could, in a weird way, be even more impacted this year. Do you get what I mean?
So
They're not as they're not shielded now.
I think it's going to come to a point when they're going to have to, not have to, but they're going to stop counting the amount of cases of COVID. Because surely the jab, even though it doesn't make you immune and there's a lot of rumours and whatnot about it, if it is given to the majority and these plans at the end of September come in place where you're only going to be able to go into events and big, crowds if you're double vaccinated, then surely that need of announcing we've got 4 COVID cases, we've got a COVID outbreak, is going to be less of a need, less of a cause of concern, because I'm assuming that they think that this vaccine will eliminate the risk.
That I would think that too, and I would think and hope that it gets to a point where we can only hope, because a lot of people have lost their lives to this and it's incredibly sad, and safety and health comes before anything, before football, before anything else, entertainment, money, whatever. But I would like to think that at some point it's going to get to a stage of so-and-so has COVID-19, he misses out, when he feels better he's back.
Yeah.
But that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Otherwise, almost you hope we get to a stage where if the vaccine develops or whatever, that actually if you've got COVID-19 but you're feeling fine, you can carry on. Yeah, that's a bit like the flu. Sometimes people might have the flu or whatever, but they don't really know, or it doesn't affect them that bad. They get on with their lives. But obviously, we're still very, very early in this pandemic, and at the moment the important thing is looking after everyone and keeping everyone isolated and safe. And Arsenal have done the right thing not going on tour. I wonder whether they had choice. Do you know what I mean? Whether maybe they still could have gone just without the players. But
It depends how many, because they haven't really been very precise about that.
we don't know how many. Yeah, you're right.
Interesting, and I'm interested to hear the names as well.
Yeah.
We're already without a couple, 2 or 3 first teamers next season for the Brentford game at the bare minimum. I think we haven't got Saka, Gabriel. Martinelli might not be a starting 11 player yet, but another player there. So if there's any of those other players in that COVID mix right now, it could be a problem.
Yeah, I agree with that. Well, look, obviously we hope everyone's doing well, everyone watching this, we hope you're all doing well, or as best as possible during this pandemic. It has been tough. I think on this channel we've actually not talked about it too much, the pandemic. We've just sort of talked football, but it is there and it is still having an impact on Arsenal and football and just the world in general. So I think it is important that we address it and actually look at what the season could be looking like, because I was all, fans are going to be back, the stadiums will be full, away trips, football's back, life's back, but actually there might be a degree of whoa. You might be more protected, but things aren't back, or aren't going to be back the way it was. And I know that's sour, but maybe just important to recognise.
Yeah, there's still definitely more to come.
Yeah. A super chat from Saim says, I think it's better we not play a random warm-up cup and instead play sides that aren't popular but will give us more of a challenge to sharpen the lads. That's an interesting point. So maybe if there's other teams, I don't know, maybe a Scottish team, because we know that we've played 2 of them, but we know their season starts soon, or a Championship side whose season will be starting in the next week or two weeks or whatever. maybe that's a better friendly for us to be involved in behind the scenes.
I think so anyway, yeah.
Yeah, you think so?
I agree, because the travel is not necessary right now.
Yeah.
It's not about the big teams and the big names and all that. It's about getting these players ready, getting your formation ready, style of play and all that, getting new players in.
Yeah.
To get that all prepared for the start of the season, which is 3 weeks away. 3 weeks and 2 days away.
Wow. You know, a family friend of mine once said to me, I don't get why Arsenal do all these tours, or clubs do all these tours to, well, anywhere around the world. He said, why don't they just go up and down England and Scotland playing championship sides and actually working themselves? And I don't think that's completely fair, because I think you do get a good workout abroad.
That's a chance for the fans abroad to see the club as well.
That's the main thing.
Yeah.
That's the main reason why they do it. That and the commercial ventures as well and all that. But yeah, it'll be interesting to see how Arsenal adapt their pre-season now. But yeah, look, important to chat about this. The tour has been cancelled. They're not going to the US. They're not going to be playing Inter or one of Everton or Millonarios, which is disappointing. We were going to do a watch along, so that won't be happening now. But I'm sure Arsenal have something else up their sleeve, and I'm sure Arteta and Edu will have to have some sort of contingency plan or something in place.
Let's hope so.
And yeah, what happens with next season will happen, and we'll see. Any comments you want to take before we move on to the next bit of news? Some big ups to you and I, which is very sweet. I played DTFC. That'd be funny, wouldn't it?
What's that?
Arsenal should play against DTFC.
Mate.
Yeah, imagine that. All super chats just coming from KD. A regular, thanks again for the super chat. Says, don't mind the Florida Cup cancelled. Arteta cannot give a reason for pre-season training with the team. What are your thoughts, both of you? I think he's basically saying there's no excuses for Arteta not having the amount of time he should have with the players. We touched on that. I think that's pretty true. Yeah.
Big up KD though.
So, let's move on. I wanna ask you what happened today.
Yes. In what sense? Because what happened today? I woke up, showered, got ready for work,
having a lovely day,
chilled out a bit,
and then
about
social media happened
for a little bit. Yeah.
Well, you tweeted.
Mm-hmm.
I've got it here. We're not just doing this to wind you up or take the piss here or anything.
No worries.
I'm actually going to do it because I think there's a good discussion to be had here. Do you mind me reading out the tweet?
Not at all.
Would you like to read it out?
No, go ahead.
Okay. So Turkish today caused a bit of a storm on Twitter. But as you said, you've had worse. So
yeah, to be honest, I'm surprised I'm getting so many messages saying, is everything all right? And to me, that's light. Well, the reaction to this is very light.
Fair enough. Turkish tweeted, wow, what a transfer window. The minute I saw that,
positive, right now.
The minute I saw that, I thought, oh no, what's coming? England's fourth choice centre back coming in at 50 million. England's fourth choice goalkeeper linked for 30 million, and a couple 21-year-olds that didn't make the Belgian and Portuguese squads for Euro 2021. Then he quotes, moving in the right direction with a middle finger emoji. So we were on this show last night. We were having a good chat.
Yeah.
You seem pretty, you said you wanted to see more, but you seem pretty relaxed.
Yeah, I was last night. I was.
So, what the hell happened?
I can't lie, it's my own fault. When I open Twitter, Twitter is it's a cesspit of nonsense and delusion sometimes, or more times. So when I open it, more often than not, things just rattle me. Now listen, James, listen to me.
You're getting a lot of spot on. Turkish ain't wrong though. Turkish spitting. Listen. Go on.
I come from an era where it was this badge.
Mm-hmm.
We done things in this badge.
Yeah.
We done things in the new badge too. Mm-hmm. I'm from that era. Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's a standard that not only that I set, the club set, the players set, and we've lost that standard over the years. Now, I woke up today, opened Twitter to see Aaron Ramsdale linked for 30 million, Jordan Henderson linked for 3, and who's the other one? Tammy Abraham. Yeah. Like, how do you want me to feel about this? I've woke up to hear and read that Tammy Abraham, Aaron Ramsdale, and Jordan Henderson are linked to Arsenal Football Club.
Only for a combined 70 million.
Yeah, only. Can you? I don't know how else I could react to that sort of news. because I have to now look at the bigger picture and think to myself, hold on, we've signed some names that I'm not all the way happy with. You know, we need to see what they're about in Lukonga and Tavares. I don't think no one knows enough to say they are going to be stars, they're going to be the next best thing. We're going to find out, and I wish them all the best. But I look at the rumours today and I couple it up with who we've bought already, which is those two, and I think, what is going on with 3 weeks left till the first game of the season, which we kick off, by the way. Yeah, and that first game of the season might not set the tone for the rest of the season, might not set the standard, but everyone is waiting to see how Arsenal come back. A lot of eyes are always on Arsenal, not just Arsenal fans, a lot of football fans across England like to see what Arsenal are about, because it's been such a mess over the last decade. Right now, we're failing to prepare. So we're preparing to fail yet again. Yes, that tweet, people have taken it out of context and said to me, Maddison didn't make the English side. Albeit they don't want to talk about the injuries that cost him his place in his English side, and what people thought before the injuries was he was going to be the starting one ahead of Mount and Grealish. It is what it is. People say Emile Smith-Rowe, he's not close to the England squad. So my tweet, again, out of context, yes, you can pick and choose like that, but even Emile Smith-Rowe, we need another attacking mid to complement and rotate with Emile. He's not like he is the be-all and end-all. I'm not dissing any player there. It's not a diss to the players. Me saying Ben White is 4th choice England centre-back, that's a fact. And to be honest, actually,
can you see why it could be read as a diss to those players?
I can see why it could be read as a diss, because Arsenal fans are fragile. It's like you can't say one.
I thought I was getting somewhere.
It's like you can't say one negative thing without it being taken and blown out of proportion. Now, I'd actually be wrong in saying Ben White's 4th choice. He's actually 5th or 6th if you take into account Joe Gomez and so on. But let's not. 4th, 5th, 6th choice, whatever. That's a fact I've just said there. That's not a diss to Ben White. That's me saying Arsenal have finished 8th twice, and a good month and a bit into a transfer window, albeit when it opened, I don't give a shit. When the season ends, that's when the transfer window for me is open. You talk to players, you get it done. We've done nothing.
2 months then?
We've done nothing to the starting 11 that tells me we are moving forward. That tells me I should be excited for next season. Why should I wait 3 more weeks until the Brentford game before deciding whether I should talk about whether I'm excited or not, which a lot of fans like to say? Wait. In 2019, people told me to wait. In 2020, after the FA Cup win in my interview, people told me to wait. And people are still saying wait in 2021. Wait for what? What are we waiting for here? Because even if the club get Maddison over the line, I'd be happy with that, 100%. But I was happy with Partey. I was happy with Pepe. The reason they haven't worked out is because the overhaul hasn't been quick enough. The outs and the ins haven't been quick enough, haven't been robust enough. So the players get tainted with the players that are still here. Get it done properly. So regardless of those names I mentioned, Twitter's got a word count, right? Yes, you can do a thread. I don't do threads. I'm barely on Twitter. Twitter's got a word count. I try and fit it into one tweet and that's it.
That's what you're contributing to.
Now I've elaborated on it, People need to understand. It's not me dissing Lukonga or dissing Tavares or dissing Ben White. That tweet has nothing to do with them as a player. It's got everything to do with how the club is moving again in the transfer window. And I'm not saying we can get fucking Mbappe and Haaland. I'm not saying that. But we can be a lot more shrewd about things. There's players out there that have signed for other clubs for around the same money as we bought in some players that would start for us. But Tavares and Lukonga, I don't see them as starting 11 signings. Yes, Lukonga might be. Now all of a sudden Fabrizio Romano saying Arsenal are open to selling Xhaka now that Lukonga's come in. So it sounds like Lukonga's the replacement for Xhaka now. Even though we needed a midfielder on top of Xhaka this summer, it's all being worded in a way where it's like, Xhaka out, Lukonga in. No, we needed more than that in the middle. But that's how it's sold to us. We thought we're having Saliba next season. Ben White comes in. Is Ben White great? I don't know. I don't know about Ben White. I'm willing to find out. But if you put Ben White in this side with some of the other nonsense players around, he's going to fall and under the same fucking brush that Pepe, Partey and all these players over the last few years, good signings, have fell to. 1, 2 players ain't coming in to fix this mess. 7, 8, 9 need to come in. That's not realistic for one window, but 6 is it. I'm asking for 6 out and 6 in. And I don't want you to focus on the fucking backups first. People are saying there's still 3 weeks left. What club gets in the backups first and leaves the last 3 weeks for the main signings? Get them. If we can't even negotiate properly for the smaller signings, the backup signings, How do people think in 3 weeks we're going to sign 2-3 starting 11 players? How are Arsenal going to do that? It takes us 2-3 weeks to knock on someone's door. That's why it's a different knock. They tricked us. They tricked us. Man said it's a different knock. It's because the knock takes ages to arrive.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, if we sign Locatelli, Maddison in the next 3 weeks, I'll have a better perspective of the window. But then if we go into the season with Bellerin slipping over and with that silly moustache and everything, then don't come back to me and say, why have we still got him? This is the time to get rid of these players now. This is the time now. And I haven't seen enough. So that's where my tweet has come from, James. Sorry, how long did that take? Shit.
That's good. You summed it up nicely.
Fuck's sake, it's annoying, you know. Big up everyone in the chat as well. I don't know what people are saying.
KD says, Turkish spot on with what he said as usual. You're getting a lot of love. People finding you both funny, but also correct. Yeah. Look, I agree with a lot of what you said. You know, I'm kind of on this wave of I'm happy about those signings if we do what we're meant to do. If we don't do what we're meant to do, and it's like this is a terrible analogy. Someone asks you what you want for dinner and you go do the shop and you buy all the sides and not the main. And it's like, well, actually that's a terrible analogy. Ignore me, guys, that was terrible. It's like you've got the sides at home and you need the main.
Yeah.
And someone's like, yeah, go to the shop, and you come back with more sides and they're like, great, cool, we'll have those, but where's the main?
Yeah.
Like,
we need a few mains right now.
There's a for years. Terrible analogy, guys. I'm sure this will be clipped up. Did you see Cecil getting clipped
yeah,
up?
I did.
I'm sure the guys will clip this up.
First of many.
But there's a serious lack of focus at the club, I think, at times in the transfer window. Now, if I had some inside information and someone said to me, guys, just be patient. The reason it's taking so long to do these bigger deals is because we're aiming high. No one expected Arsenal to go into the window and go for a Locatelli or a Maddison, but we are, because we're trying to act like a Champions League club even though we're not in it. If that's the reason why it's taking so long, cool. I'll say fine, take what you need, because I know you're shooting something really high here. But if it's not that, if it's we're waiting this long because we're still waiting to see what Odegaard are doing, or Real Madrid doing about Odegaard,
yeah.
or Buendia, we missed out because we were outbid. I still want to believe that really he was never our first choice target, especially with the Maddison news of late. But if he really was our first choice, we just missed out. That's infuriating. That's embarrassing. So I think there's still more to find out, and I've always been more glass half full than half empty. I'd rather just, for my own peace of mind, I'd rather just believe that there's something going on, and then when it doesn't happen, then I'll say what I think. But I understand why you feel the way you feel.
I actually feel like this Maddison and Locatelli rumours is just smoke up our asses, and in the last,
do you think? In
the last few weeks we'll probably get a war over the line, and then the fans will think that's a win. That's just how things play out over the last few years.
Yeah.
We're going to be linked to Maddison, Locatelli, a couple more weeks, and then all of a sudden a war comes in and them other links die, and the fans are like, whoa, a war's coming, yeah. What are we doing?
Yeah.
Rinse and repeat every season right now. Hence where that tweet came from.
Fair enough, man. Fair enough. Alistair says, Arsenal owes you nothing, James. They don't report to you. Okay, I'm not really sure what that's got to do with anything. Super says, sign Basuma already. But look, it is frustrating, and also we go round and round in circles, I think, with this transfer stuff. You know, we're talking today about what we've been talking before. But I thought it was just interesting that when I saw that tweet, I'll be honest, I took it as, because now you've explained it as, you're just stating facts and you're just saying you're disappointed.
You've got to be blunt on Twitter. There's a word count. Like, I can't be writing stories on one tweet. I'm not going to do threads. I'm tweeting once and I'm bouncing.
When I saw it, I got to say, my instant reaction was, wow, Turkish is really, really angry.
Yeah,
but
it's the most I've spent on Twitter today, probably all of 2021 so far.
Fair enough. But look, I agree with a lot of what you're saying there. Let's see what the club do. But I think it is also important, as you've kind of done in your tweet as well, to just maintain the standard, if that makes sense. I think it'd be too easy to finish 8th, go first day of the window and go, right, let's catch up in 3 months when the window's shut and see where we are. I don't think the club deserve that amount of almost freedom and time off from our opinions and our feelings from the whole fan base. I think
agree.
they've got to know that we still are sitting here, we're watching, like, you know, we're scrutinising everything. What do you mean Ramsdale for 30 million? What are you talking about? That's ludicrous. When we just sold Emi Martinez for 20. You know, these things, fans aren't stupid. More often than not, the general consensus of a fan base, there's a point to it. We're not. There's this kind of popular thing to say of, yeah, but we're not managers, we're not players, we don't run a club, so what do we know? More often than not, fan opinions pretty on point with things in general.
Yeah.
If Arsenal fans are saying we need 5-6 players, generally that's true. Arsenal do need 5-6 players. There's not some wizard at Arsenal going, actually 3 or 4 will be enough and we'll prove them wrong. Because when has the club ever proved us wrong?
That's exactly
even the most positive fans. Yeah, there might be like an FA Cup win or whatever, but even the most positive fans will know what has to be done and will feel let down when that's not happened. It's more just like a timing thing. Yeah. You know, of when people get to that point.
You're right. It's a timing thing. Blindfolds hopefully will eventually come off for the remaining, I'm going to say few, but really it's still the majority of the fan base. We've got a few super chats here.
Yeah, do you want to take those?
One from Miguel here says, this transfer window makes no sense, just like Cecil talking. Hope everybody put all the E's here. I'm not in a joking mood right now. I'm angry about this fan base and some of the reaction to that tweet. It's nonsense. Hope everything changes before our first game. Cheers from Dominican Republic. Come on, Miguel. Appreciate the love.
Yeah, you got another one. I got the one from Obi.
Yeah,
says Turkish is spot on. No point in sugarcoating it. Arsenal Football Club are moving in the wrong direction and have been for the last 10-15 years. And then James says, big up Turkish, I saw your tweet and I feel your pain. There is no point getting a good signings for not getting rid of the dead wood. And then Oliver says, I'm a Man United fan. I think that Arsenal need to focus on the midfield because it takes you 10 hours to move the ball from back to front. Also, teams around are just improving day by day with world-class players. I think that's a great point about the way we kind of progress through the team, and midfield is absolutely needed. So, okay, look, thank you for clarifying all that.
No worries, man.
You didn't need to, but I thought while we've got the live audience, we
might as well.
A lot of people would have seen the tweet. Good to chat about it. I've got to say, when I first saw it, I didn't completely agree, but I get what you're saying. And Twitter's just Twitter. I think people forget that tweets are sometimes, not always, sometimes just kind of mindless thoughts. Just, I think this right now, and I say it. And sometimes I've said things. I called Arteta a liar on Twitter a week ago. People were on me, saying lying's a bit strong. I was like, listen, okay, I've not called him that to his face, have I? I'm just, okay, not lied, but maybe not so much told the truth. And actually, I think sometimes it can just be misinterpreted, and people can just sort of almost. Everyone reads things a different way. Actually, I did this. Someone, I tweeted something about a player. Brentford are about to sign a Celtic centre-back called Christopher, I don't know how you pronounce it, Ayer, something like that. And I tweeted, really good signing, great signing for Brentford, whatever. And someone replied, you play Football Manager, lol. And I thought, he's taking the piss here. And I said, I basically replied, yeah, great game, what's your point? Because I'm always wary that I might have misunderstood, but I thought this guy's taking the piss out of me. And he replied, he was like, easy, there's no point, I play it as well, that's how I know of this guy. I was like, oh, I'm so sorry, I didn't mean to, but that can happen, wherever he's from and his friendship groups or whatever, they speak using lol in a more endearing way, perhaps. I'm used to people I speak to using lol to almost take the piss. Haha, you back Arteta, lol. It's like, so you trying to fight, and that's kind of
That's what Twitter is, man. People just, I don't know, losing their heads over people's opinions.
I agree. We were talking about some transfers there. We're going to go into some others and talk about Arsenal more generally. Just another super chat from RT says, Turkish, been watching Arsenal from the same era as you mentioned. Kit you're wearing was my first ever kit, and I agree 100% with what you're saying.
Love.
Yeah. And
we've got another one that says, Turkish is great. Love his opinions. Great duo, by the way.
Oh, bless. Thanks, man. You, it's polar opposite shows with you and Cecil. I have to say, I'm very pensive on these shows because I'll have a thought and you get me thinking about a certain way. Obsessed with each other, fucking good time. None of this drama.
That's where the jokes and bands come out.
We should have a good laugh.
The vibes.
I wanted to talk about Tammy Abraham, Ainsley Maitland-Niles, your thoughts on those potential moves. But before we do, I want to ask you something else. Something that's triggered me now. We're going to talk about why I'm annoyed. Arsenal, the name Arsenal, I don't know if there's a stronger brand in the world right now. It feels like you can put Arsenal in anything, and that's your marketing. Let's put Arsenal because it's going to get clicks. It's going to get retweets.
You see Frank Warren yesterday, I think.
Who's that? Sorry.
Frank Warren, boxing promoter.
Oh, okay.
He posted a picture of Joe Joyce. That's his boxer.
Right.
And he said after Usyk and Joshua and White Hart Lane, come down to our patch. And a picture of Joyce outside the Emirates Stadium with a glove on.
Oh, really? Right, well, there you go.
Because he's trying to sell the fight, and Joyce ain't really the greatest of names to be selling. So
my big question, so I'm not been massively into boxing, but my big question was, why are Arsenal's name being used everywhere? Everywhere I look, in the press, in transfer rumours, other channels, other pundits, whatever, there seems to be... I don't mind, and I'll say this one thing, and I was saying this to you, big up Rocky Nico, who's in the building, shop vintage.
Trust me.
I was making a point to Rocky where I said, I don't mind people being negative about Arsenal, but at least kind of get either your facts straight or a degree of consistency.
Yeah.
And I feel like there's no club right now, let's say in the kind of the big time of football, that are as inaccurately talked about when it comes to punditry or whatever as Arsenal are. Do you get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Or am I just being bitter and defensive of my club?
No, I've clocked it a long time ago. That's something I hate as well. That's why over the years I've called out in the nose and journalists and these people that Photoshop pictures of rumoured players in Arsenal kits and all of that, because it all plays on the same emotion that we all feel, the love for Arsenal. That is really it. As much as, you know, I don't agree and I don't like the fans that fall in line with the club's social media activities and the promotional and PR activities that the media do around Arsenal Football Club. It's because they love the club, and they want things to be true and they want things to happen. But as we saw over the last 10 years, it hasn't helped us. So surely the best thing to do is look at it and say, who the fuck are these guys? Because that's what I do now on Twitter. I see someone linked. And in all honesty, this goes for Chris Wheatley too, it goes for Charles Watts, and it goes for Fabrizio Romano, in my opinion. Yeah? Okay. I look at them and I think, who the fuck are these guys? Yes, they know more than the other ones on Twitter, because the other ones on Twitter, some of them just come from nowhere and just make an account and tweet some certain pictures and then... But my opinion is, I don't care about Romano, Chris Wheatley or Charles Watts. I know people do, but I personally don't, because they're only fed information to feed to us. And I look at who's feeding them that information, why they're being fed that information, and it's really all to play in some sort of way with Arsenal fans.
So I you know, years back I was training as a journalist. I wanted to be a journalist. So I'll say this, I've got immense kind of respect for the job they do, and I kind of understand how difficult it is. And actually, I was getting to a point where I was starting to worry about journalists' reputations and their ability to kind of break news or whatever. But actually, I think a lot of them, you know, you think with Thomas Partey, I know AFC Bell was there, but Charles Watts breaking the Thomas Partey story, Chris Wheatley's been on it all summer, Ornstein again with the news about Ben White. You know, they are... I think, in my opinion, they still do a great job. But you know, I hear what you're saying. But my main question is not so much about that area of journalism. I want to talk about,
and that's not me disrespecting them, by the way. Really? I know in this way. No, when I'm saying who the fuck, I don't mean that in disrespect. I don't know them.
Right.
I just mean they're just someone telling me something about my club, and whoever's telling them that something has got an agenda behind it.
Okay.
So it's not personal against Romano or Watts or Wheatley or AFC Bell or ZRAFC or all these other accounts that do all of this madness. It's not personal. It's just, I know what you're doing, and a lot of people know what they're doing. And the reality is, it's the same as what the mainstream media are doing, just in a more closed sense.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Yeah. Yeah. Look, I wouldn't say I agree, but I think I get what you're saying. My frustration is Arsenal's name being used. Rumours that are clearly not true. We've been linked with Jack Grealish, and these same media outlets then take the piss out of us for it. Literally, you made up the link. We're not saying it.
Yeah.
Like, that's the club haven't said anything. The fans haven't said anything. This has come from you. We've been linked with Leon Bailey. Apparently, Aston Villa are going to beat us to him as well, like they did Buendia. I've not had one link to Leon Bailey. Why would we want him? We've got Saka and Pepe. So that seems madness to me. I've seen and heard some coverage about Arsenal recently. You know, it's Arsenal have no ambition. They're not the club. You know, the owners are terrible. The club's, you know, in collapse. They're not a big club. And then we go and spend 50 million on England's next big thing at centre back, and people are saying, "Nah, he's too good for Arsenal. Waste of money. Should look at other positions." I know to a degree that's your stance on certain things, but I'm
not with Mills on anything.
But I'm talking about outsiders who have everything they have to say about Arsenal, and then continue to drag our name. I'll tell you one good thing from it.
Yeah.
Whenever people say Arsenal are no longer a big club, I think, well, I can sleep soundly knowing that's definitely not true. We're still a massive club. The amount people talk about us, the amount we're linked to players, the amount it's blah 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 doing this, Arsenal aren't, haha. Do you know what I mean? There's definitely. Do you think maybe we have a overly sensitive online fan base?
100%.
More than other clubs?
Yeah.
Do you think that's part of it?
Most sensitive, yeah.
Do you think that's part of it? So do you think people think that we know that the online Arsenal fan base, maybe AFTV to a degree is part of that, maybe other channels, maybe there's a feeling that we know that the Arsenal fan base will be triggered more than others?
Yeah, Arsenal are by far the most sensitive online fan base from what I see. United and Tottenham.
Is that just because we're Arsenal fans and we see that? I also think we're one of the most patient and accepting fan bases.
It's full circle now. It's because of the way we've been treated. We wouldn't be like this if it wasn't 15 years of this nonsense. That's a long time to be patient. That's a long time to, you know, remain faithful. And when it ends with a manager like Arsene Wenger and what he's done for the club, when it ends like that, fans just kind of lost their head in a sense. They just lost their heads and they haven't found it since. Because everyone's head should be at the top right now, Kroenke. But it isn't. It's some people's heads are at Kroenke, some's at Arteta, some at AFTV and fan channels, some just hang on positivity and nonsense on Twitter and in the nose. Our fan base is just all over the gaff after what happened to Wenger and what's happened to us over the 10-15 years. It's literally, that's the reason why we are so fucked as a fan base. Because of the way they've treated us, and it's caused infighting, it's put Wenger's name into the mud, it's put other things into the mud over the last 10-15, and the realization for a lot of people don't like to put their hands up and say, you know what, I was wrong. That's quite an admirable thing to do. It's a big thing to do. I could do it any time, and I want to be wrong about this club and this owner right now. But a lot of people can't just say I was wrong. So the same people that hounded Usmanov out instead of Kroenke, and the same people that, you know, for AFTV is the problem over Kroenke and so on, and the same people Wenger ins and Wenger out, none of them want to hold their hands up and say, you know what, we just need to get together now and just get the job done because we was wrong on that matter and we just got to clean the slate and move forward. It's always bickering in between everyone.
Yeah, I got to say, it's one of the things that I get so frustrated by. I don't really want Arsenal fans to be calling out other Arsenal fans, YouTubers to be calling out other YouTubers or whatever, or journo to journo. I've just got, like, I've kind of got no time for that.
Man said I need a hug. I don't need no goddamn hug.
I'll give you a hug.
Good.
Marco with the super chat says, worst part of Twitter is the ITKs. Yeah, don't get me started on that. That's the one thing that does frustrate me. Let's try, whenever I'm here, I get to the last 5 minutes of every show and I say, let's try and do it on a positive. We're going to try again.
Let's try.
But I think this might be difficult. Tammy Abraham and Ainsley Maitland-Niles, the last two big sort of rumours, I'd say, that have come out of late. They're saying Tammy Abraham alone with an obligation to buy 40 million. Maitland-Niles, they're saying, is wanted by Leicester, Burnley and Southampton. I'm going to put a positive spin on this.
You might need to get that super chat out of the way before you try a positive spin on anything. Because if we do your positive spin and then go back to that super chat, it's not going to end on a positive.
Alright, fine. Balthazar, what a name, says, Turkish is the one trying to create a scenario that makes it look what's etc. Oh, what? Sorry. Turkish is the one trying to create a scenario that makes it look what's etc. are not trustworthy people, so trust you more. They work there, you don't.
Would you like to touch on that first?
I think he's trying to say.
Yeah, he's trying to
Watts
say.
knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, and I'm trying to.
Can I just say? I know this is not coming from me, but just from me, like big up the Arsenal journos, the Watts and Wheatleys and Romano and everything they do, because I know these aren't ITKs who are just trying to do things for clout. They're really honest journos who work really hard and are trying to get us news. I think what you're trying to say, and tell me if I'm wrong, is that ultimately the info comes from somewhere and you don't give a shit about who it comes from or when you hear it or whatever. You just kind of ultimately care about the end result.
Yeah, that's
so it's not about it being a big name or who it is that's giving it to you or whatever. Is that what you're trying to say?
Kind of, yeah.
Okay.
Kind of. If you look, AFC Bell done the Partey thing last year. I know Chris Wheatley got a lot of credit for it, but AFC Bell was the one initially that said it.
It was Charles Watts, actually.
Charles Watts, that's it.
Yeah.
But look, okay, let me get onto this comment. Turkish is the one trying to create a scenario that makes it look like Watts, etc. are not trustworthy people, so trust them. Again, I said they're fed information that they're in turn allowed to feed to everyone else. They wouldn't be telling people information that they wasn't allowed to tell people. So when you're supporting
I don't know
Arsenal,
if that's true.
No, 100%. They break down a relationship there. What you think if I call you and say, I've got some information for you, but you need to keep it strum for 2 days, and then you break it the same hour, I ain't telling you nothing.
I think there might be some of that. I think there's also investigative journalism and getting in touch with people.
If Charles Watts ever was to break
whatever.
something that Arsenal didn't want, he wouldn't be allowed back in the stadium.
Really?
That's fact. That's fact. All of these, man, it's nothing personal, like I said, but that is fact. So let me continue on with this point. They work there, you don't. So does Kroenke, so does Arteta, so does Edu, so does all these men that have ruined the club over the years. Not just them, Gazidis and so on that's gone before. Now, what the fuck does working for the club mean? What does it mean anymore? When a lot of people that work for the club don't even support Arsenal. That's facts as well. But people wouldn't know that.
This has been heavy. Oz with the super chat says 27th of December 2021 is when the clown will be sacked. 22 more weeks. Okay, wow. Oh, forgive me, I just lost it. Here we go. The Zim Gunner says, I am so disappointed to not get to see Arsenal here in the USA. Big up to you, James and Turkish. Never on AFTV. Would have been my second time. Oh, I'm really sorry for you, man. For everything we've just said, you know, these fans want to see Arsenal, so I understand. Look, okay, maybe I've learnt a lot. Maybe I was naive, or maybe it's not as simple as you think. Maybe, I don't know. Either one.
It's definitely not simple. I don't think it's simple either. But I don't like simple or not. They need to do it now because we've given them enough patience.
Balthazar's come back with they still know more than you.
Of course they do. Of course they do. You know what? I'm not even going to say it. Okay. I'm not even going to say it. Man, so, they took the Invincibles and we are where we are now. And this guy here is saying they know more than... Like, what the fuck does Stan Kroenke know about football? James, do you think Stan Kroenke knows about football? I don't care who this guy's talking about, because he's talking about if you work for the club, they know more than you.
Right, okay.
Does Stan Kroenke know more about football than me and you?
No.
Exactly. So this guy here, with all due respect, keep it quiet. Save your money, because you're just posting nonsense.
Andy Andrea says, James, you know everything. Let me know if it's raining on September 3rd, please. I've never claimed to know everything. In fact, I think I'm learning that I really don't know everything. All right, let's try it on some positives. Maitland-Niles, if he goes to Leicester, Burnley or Southampton, I'll be happy for him. I think he needs first team football. Well, I don't want him to go. We've got to accept Leicester are a rival. Well, of course they are. They finished above us twice in the last 2 years. I wouldn't want him to go to Leicester because he improves them, but at the same time, I kind of hope he gets a good move. I think he deserves it. And I think Arsenal can get some decent money for Maitland-Niles as well. It looks like we missed out on that £20 million package that we could have got last summer. But even if we get anything around that, even 15 mil or something, I think that makes sense for the club to do.
Make the same mistake before we have him next summer and he's worth 7 million.
Or if you're going to keep him, play him in a sensible position, not as your backup left back. Tammy Abraham, they're saying a loan with an obligation to buy 40 million. I don't like the deal. I don't. But I keep telling myself that if we're doing deals like that, where there's 40 million getting spent here, 50 million on Ben White, whatever, there has to be money to play with. Romano has said countless times, Arsenal have bid 40 million euros, not pounds, but euros, for Locatelli. They have offered the money Sassuolo want. There's got to be money to play with. We wouldn't be talking to Maddison. I think we can accept that Maddison is a target for Arsenal. Forget whatever ITK or journalists or whatever said anything. He's a target.
Yeah.
But he wouldn't be a target if there's not money. So my positive spin on all this, because I said I'd try, there's surely money there for the club to spend. Surely. Otherwise, this is all mental. Isn't it? Otherwise, the whole window, every rumour we've ever heard, every signing we've made, even 20 million on the Congo is a backup. Everything we spend, if there's not money to pay for the targets we need, is absolutely mental.
So how much have we spent right now?
70. Well, let's assume White gets over the line. 78 mil.
78 mil, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So that in the next, let's say week to 10 days, we're probably looking to offload Xhaka and Bellerin, right?
Mm-hmm.
And who else do you think would add to that? Xhaka, Bellerin.
I think they're the only two who are realistically going right now.
Okay, so let's just keep it realistic and say for Xhaka, Bellerin we get 30 million in total.
Mm-hmm.
So that brings net spend to 48 mil.
Mm-hmm.
And then you think, okay, Maddison and Locatelli together, what would they cost? 100 mil?
Yeah, easily.
Yeah, so then the net spend would then be 148 mil, and then maybe you get a couple more sales in with Maitland-Niles, Eddie Nketiah, maybe a Lacazette, and you bring it back down to 120 mil, and then it's just another decent window. It's not a window again where we've.
So you think we're looking at a circa 150 mil at best net spend this summer?
Yeah, minimum. That's what they should be doing.
Right.
Like FFP's in doubt. We're not in Europe anyway. These lot have said they're finally going to engage with us. They're finally going to invest with us. They was wrong about the Super League. Like, surely all the chances that fans have been giving them, enough is enough now. No more chances to be given. No more excuses about Florida Cup being cancelled or 3 weeks left of the window. Like, just judge them how we should have judged them 15 years ago and 10 years ago when they became majority owner. We should have been judging them like this from a long time. It's partly our faults that we are now judging them to that standard, or should be judging them to that standard when we're not close to that standard realistically.
Yeah.
But they done it to us. It's not like if Daniel Ek comes in or another owner comes in, I'd then be like, you know what, we're gonna have to take another few seasons of top 6 before we get into top 4, because that's but I'm not giving that with Kroenke.
Okay.
Do what you need to do now.
Fine. We've got a few chats. Stylish says Tammy is a baller, but then others are saying, why would we... Mukhtar says, I'd rather get Hudson-Odoi than Tammy Abraham. Others are saying, why would we fund Tammy Abraham... Why would we fund Chelsea's move for Haaland by signing Tammy Abraham? Balthazar's come back and said...
You missed the entire point, clown. Regardless of Kroenke, they still know more going inside the club than you. Debate. He's asking me to debate him. Listen, I'll debate any fan that seeks to find positives in any of these fucking...
Today's been stressed, man.
Man said... If you work inside the club, you know more than a fan. That is a negative statement. They might do, but at Arsenal Football Club, we have inexperience everywhere. Every fucking position, the person is not built for. They don't have substance in that position. But you're sitting there saying that they know more than the fans that have seen what's happened over the last 10, 15 years and only care about the best interest of the club, not their pockets, not the finances. The fucking club, the football on the pitch. But thanks for those super chats. If you want to throw in any more, then be my guest. Then.
Fick with the super chat says, do you really think Locatelli, coming from Serie A, fits the English game? Only a handful of Italians have done well. Torreira didn't work for us. Yeah, I think Locatelli's made for the Premier League, like attributes wise. Yeah, I think he's absolutely made for it.
I definitely take Locatelli. Like I said, Locatelli and Maddison definitely moves this window up a few notches in terms of a rating.
Josh says, not our Josh, different Josh. Hey, I just joined. Let me guess, Turkish is angry.
Me angry? Can't you see the smile on my face? No way.
He's coming for. I don't know who's not been slandered at some point today. Everyone's had it. The club's had it. The players have had it. The new signings have had it. The journos have had it. I'm just about getting away with it. I don't know what's going to happen off screen, but no. It's always a pleasure, man.
Nah, I'm used to this, man. Like I said, man, this internet stuff.
But I'm joking. I'm winding up here a bit. But in all seriousness, I think there's a lot of valid points in what you said, and we can't. And I'll always say to people, we can debate as long as we want. I'm a positive Arsenal fan. I try to be positive. Even now, a bit of time off, and I'm starting to think, maybe Arteta can change my mind. And people go, no, don't do it. But sometimes you just got to stop and look at the facts. We have finished 8th 2 years in a row. We haven't been in the top 4 for 4 seasons? 5 seasons. Is it 5 seasons we've not finished we finished 2017, 2018, 2019, 2020, 21. Yeah, 5 seasons in a row.
Yeah.
We've not finished in the top 4.
Yeah.
Sometimes the facts just say that no matter what's going on, we have every right to be worried.
Pissed off.
Yeah.
Angry, vexed, annoyed, frustrated.
I'm gonna try to be
fed up.
I'm trying to be excited. Oz, most of the Oz with the super chat. Most of the power players in the club know more about. Do you know what that means?
What's that? Know more about
EBITDA. What says something I shouldn't? Then
I don't know. Who said that? No, Oz wouldn't try catch man that.
Oh, okay. Remember, they have MBAs, not UEFA licenses. Anyway, Joey says, James, do you think we can get top 4, mate? I demand the clubs gets. I demand that the club gets top 4 this year, but I don't think we will. Let's say one more chat. YS says, I'm sick and tired of this club. Fair enough.
Someone give us a positive. Someone give us a positive out there. What was this guy's name? Balthazar. Come here and super chat a positive that I can talk about, please.
Another Joey, different Joey, says, big up the main man Turkish. What else have we got? Joey also, that same Joey says, James in the Giant speech. Thanks, man. I think you're taking the piss out of me there, but I'll take it. That's quite funny. Alexander Mary, Bukayo Saka is a positive. I agree. Bukayo Saka is a positive. We hope Bukayo is doing well. Michael, the super chat, says, Turkish looks like you disturbing peeps safe spaces.
I don't know if you're dissing me or if you're with me, but big up you anyway. Same way.
Yeah, fair enough. Anyway, okay, I think we've... Oh, Joe again says, James, haha, love you, bro. Thanks, man. Okay,
Ted said Turkish are positive. All teams start on 0.
That is a good one. Right, this has been heavy. But I suppose it needed to be with where Arsenal are right now.
Yeah, it does need to be.
A quick one. Charlie asks opinion on Jordan Henderson. Go on, round off on that.
Nah.
Yeah, same for me. Did we touch on it yesterday? I think we did. Just not. Very good player, but not.
Yeah, no diss to Jordan Henderson. I just feel like he's got nothing to prove in the Premier League anymore, and signing him would just be one of those. It's
not for me. It's does he come in and make our starting 11 stronger on the opening day of the season? Yes, but I think the one thing I do like, and this is again where I sort of disagreed with your tweet, is that at least the signings we're making feel like there's a degree of long-termism to it. And that's kind of what I have liked about what we've been doing. Yeah. I'd actually be very disappointed if a player over the age of 28 came in this summer. Unless they're kind of like the real deal immediately, I'd be disappointed because I'd be saying, we need to be looking a bit more long term.
Hit the ground running.
Yeah. All right, Turkish.
Love.
This has been fun.
Love.
I love you.
Come on, G.
It's all going to be okay.
Come on, man. It's not all going to be okay, but yeah.
It's all going to be absolutely
You can't feed me ain't no dreams.
Mark,
let's end on this positive from Mark.
Give you a positive. I remember the Invincible season, and now we have to deal with this crap. Oh God. Okay. You never know, guys. It could turn around, and I'm happy with the business we've done so far, but I'm not happy with how long it's taken to do it. If that makes sense. 3 signings, I'm very happy with. How long it's taken, I'm not. What's left to do, I'm not. So there are positives there, but I get what Turkish is saying. I get your frustration. Still time to change it. Still time to turn it around. Let's see what happens. And hey, at least this is all being recorded for a documentary.
And I'm back tomorrow, people.
Are you back tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm back tomorrow.
Wow, lucky you guys.
Negative News Daily.
Welcome back to AFTV Negative Daily.
Where the clubs keep feeding me and lining me up like Mesut Ozil in his prime, mate.
Bloody hell, right. Let's end the stream. It's been fun. See you tomorrow.
Love.